Today we're going to talk about the 12 reasons why I was not an effective leader. My name is Michael Barayev. I was able to build a team of 150 plus sales guys in less than 2.5 years with zero money invested. Now we have a lot of companies that are going like crazy from coast to coast like butter on toast. But I promise you this, it did not happen until I changed a lot of these things. As a matter of fact, all 12 of these things are the reasons why it held me back for so many years and why I could never hit the goals and targets that I really wanted to. So if you're watching this video and you actually have one of these things or 12 of these things, then my friend, there's two things. Number one, you need to change. Number two, there's massive hope for you to become a better leader. So let's talk about some of the things that I fucked up on while I was building my businesses and failing miserably. So number one, the reason why I was not an effective leader in the beginning, I was extremely selfish. Now, if you're a selfish person, it's never going to work out for you when you want to lead a team of people because leadership is not about you. It's about other people. And I did not understand it because growing up the way that I grew up in foster care, domestic violence, and being abused as a kid, all these different things made me kind of fend for myself. So I never had the chance to have anyone really take care of me or worry for me. So in my mind, because my defense mechanism kicked in, I told myself mentally, subconsciously, that the only person who will take care of you, Mike, is yourself. So you end up going out there to the marketplace and only thinking about who? Yourself. And that's a very big challenge if you're trying to build a company, build a team, or try to grow because it's not about you when it comes to building a team. It's about other people. So because I was so selfish, that held me back for such a long time. Number two, I didn't listen. I couldn't even have a conversation with someone because if they said anything that remotely pissed me off, boom, my mind would not listen and I would be listening to reply. Not listening to understand, but just listening to reply. And that's a very big problem if you're building a team or dealing with people. You have to get good at listening, right? And understanding other people. Number three, I thought I knew it all. I know it sounds crazy. I was 22 years old and I thought I knew everything. When in reality, I was the dumbest person in that room. Because when you think you got all the answers in a specific topic or a specific thing, you obviously got no answers, right? It's the person that thinks he knows it all is the person you should be scared of because he knows nothing, right? And that was me. I was hard. I was making that mistake and not realizing that it affected me so much. Number four, I was extremely hard-headed. I was stubborn. And that stubbornness kind of affected it because people around me were like, dude, just chill out, soften up a little bit. But I was just hard-headed. And when you're hard-headed, guess what? People don't want to be around that. And if people don't want to be around that, guess what happens to your business? It goes to shit, right? So that was number four, biggest mistake and reason why I was not an effective leader. Number five, I acted very, very super indifferent. I was extremely indifferent and people do not like that. People don't want to do business with someone or be around someone that doesn't care about them, that doesn't care about their results or their goals. And when you act indifferent, right, which basically shows that you don't care, they're like, you know what, you don't care? I don't care. And it created this conflict with a lot of people where I burned a lot of relationships because if they said something that hurt me, I would just be super indifferent and that indifference, destroyed that relationship, right? So you got to learn to be a little bit more sensitive and caring for other people's situations, and be caring. It's okay to care for other people. And by the way, a lot of these 12 things that I'm going to talk to you about, these are things that I fucked up on that you probably are fucking up on. You might say to yourself, how did that even happen that you even got to that point? So you need to study your roots, study your background, and figure out where did this stem from? How did this happen? And figure out those traumas, work on them with a rabbi, a priest, a coach, a mentor, whatever it may be, to help you figure out what those traumas are to become the effective leader you need to become, right? Number six, I always had to be right. And by the way, if you're a leader, you cannot always be right. You have to learn to be wrong. And when you're wrong, you have to say what? I am sorry. I messed up. So, I always, not only did I think I knew it all, but I also thought I had to always be right. And as a leader, you don't have to be right. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to make mistakes. And this was a big one for me to kind of let go of, right? Number seven, I wanted all the recognition, right? When you live a life that I live, which is traumatic, a lot of problems, a lot of issues, foster care, domestic violence, and nobody gives you recognition, you never get anything. When you get it for a little bit, you're like, holy shit, I want more of it, right? And by the way, one of my mentors a long, long time ago, I was 20 years old, I believe, and he's like, Michael, recognition is poisonous if you swallow it. And he taught me that when you get recognition for creating success because your team did something well, maybe one of your guys did something well, and they kind of commend you as the leader saying, wow, your team is amazing, never swallow it, never accept it. Take it and spit it out or put it back into the people. Say, you know what, I appreciate you guys saying that I'm an amazing leader. We have an amazing job that we did, but it wasn't because of me. It was because of my amazing team. So when recognition comes, you put it back on the people. Never swallow it because once you swallow it, it can get poisonous and affect your head. Number eight, I hated losing. And if you want to be an effective leader, you have to learn to not love to lose, but understand the process of losing and not be a sore loser. I was the worst loser. I would get super angry. I would be emotional. When I would lose, I couldn't accept a loss. And that's not how you win in business, right? And that's not how you win over people. Sometimes you're going to have losses, and it's okay. And how you deal with those mistakes is extremely important and vital because your team is watching. And if you don't know how to lose the right way, you will never win people over. And that was one of my biggest mistakes, right? Number 9, I was extremely insecure. I was broken emotionally. I was broken internally. And I wasn't strong enough to be secure in who I was. My confidence was worse than an amoeba when I first started building my businesses, right? I felt worthless. And I had to start working on building my sense of confidence, my mindset, building my mind to become that amazing individual that I am today and becoming every single day. But I had to build on that security. Number 10, I was extremely insensitive to other people's feelings. Think about it. I was extremely insensitive to other people's feelings. And when you're insensitive to other people, that doesn't work out. People don't give a shit about you until they know you care about them, right? People want to know, do you care about me? Do you want me to win? Do you want to see me become better? If the answer is no, they're not going to want to follow you. So it's very, very important to not be insensitive to other people, but be very sensitive to other people's feelings and figure out, did you just make a mistake? And by the way, it's okay. I've heard so many people in my life, and I made mistakes. I said sorry. That's part of the growth process. You're not going to be perfect. There's things that you do that you don't even realize are hurting people. Like the other day, I heard one of my friends, not even realizing that I potentially hurt him. And that wasn't my intention. It happens. And that's okay, it's normal, but you gotta say, I'm sorry, I was wrong, I fucked up, and try not to do that again. And explain your situation so they understand that it wasn't on purpose, but it was a mistake that you kind of made, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Number 11, I was always looking for shortcuts. Listen, if you want to be an effective leader, you cannot look for shortcuts. It's always the long-term game. It's always the long play. It's always what's going to happen in the future. It's never about today. It's always about the future. And I just always look for the shortcut because I just wanted that quick fix. And guess what? It never worked out. Thank God it didn't, because guess what? It taught me a valuable lesson. Always play the long game. Always play the long-term game with people. If you have a problem with someone, invest in them. Talk to them. Have a conversation with them. It's okay. You want to have a long-term relationship? You have to invest in them. You have to be apologetic. You have to do things. You have to invest in time, energy, resources, help them become better. And those are some of the lessons that I had to learn. And last but not least, number 12, the reason why I was not an effective leader. Number 12 was because I had zero emotional control. And by the way, I did not have emotional control, in my opinion, until I would say 2020, 2021, when I started getting way better, because I said, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm tired. This is when I was 30 years old. I'm like, I cannot live my life moving forward and not having emotional control. Because one of my mentors, literally on a phone call, told me, Michael, you're such a control freak in your business. You're such a control freak in your life. You're such a control freak everywhere. But the one thing you don't control is your freaking emotions. And it's like, you're trying to control everything everywhere, but you can't even control yourself. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, you know what? You're right. I have to start working on my emotional control and get myself to equilibrium. And if someone says something, it's okay. You have to learn how to process that anger, process that emotion, process that, and become emotionally intelligent. And I read some books. I read 2 books that changed my life, as a matter of fact, when it came to emotional control. Power versus Force and Letting Go. Those 2 books smacked me and made me understand, holy shit, I need to become better. Holy shit, I need to become better, not only in business and sales and marketing, but also in my emotional skill set. So I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. These are the 12 reasons that I fucked up on. Maybe you can add a few more if you know me personally, and that's okay. There's probably a shit ton more. These are the 12 ones that kind of resonated with me. And if you're suffering with some of these challenges, going through it, it's okay. Fix it, improve it, get better, and you will get to the next level, becoming an effective leader to build your team and grow your business. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. If you love this kind of content, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next video.